Yes, welcome back to the channel. Brad McKinnon here. Today we are going to be patching this wall here that has been busted by a log of wood. It's right next to a fireplace where they keep all their firewood, and someone has accidentally biffed a bit of firewood up there and it's just gone straight through the wall. So we're just going to, and there's a few dings all around the place you can see there, so we're just going to tidy it all up today and patch this wall. So first thing I've done is, you can actually see in there's a bit of timber stud on the left there, so I've actually felt around with my fingers and you can feel where the timbers are. There's actually one on each side there, so I can sort of feel where it is, and then I can sort of mark in the middle of it and just run a couple of lines there, just the level lines. And what we're going to do is just mark those lines so we can cut it out there. There's actually a bit of timber on the bottom as well, so I was quite lucky. I had timber on three sides there, so I don't actually have to add any timber into this patch. So, and by using a level and getting it straight, it just makes it easier when you're cutting your new piece straight. It's going to fit in nicely. So we're just going to get the Stanley knife there. And again, you can use a multi-tool. I just don't like to, when I'm in someone's house, it just makes a lot of dust and a lot of mess, so Stanley knife does the job. And there's a lot of glue on this board there, you can see, so it was a bit of scraping to get that off, a bit of extra effort. So you want to get that off just so the new piece can sit back nice and flush with the existing wall. You can see all those other dings and stuff. There's just a couple of old nails there, you need to take those out. If you can't take them out, just hit them in. And we're just going to get our new piece there. And you can use a tape measure, but another way is just to hold it up there and just mark the top and bottom. It's nice and straight and level, so if we just mark the tops and the bottoms there, and the side, we can just use our level just to cut that. So I'm just going to hold the level on the two lines there and just use my knife and just run up there lightly up the board, and then it's easier just to do a light mark and then just to come in sort of a heavier one without the level there, and just snap the board, and it just snaps in two, and you just want to cut up the back of the board. So we've done that side, we can hold it back up now and we can mark our other side at the bottom there. We've already marked the other side there, so we've got the two lines, and I'm just going to use this bit of board here because it's got the tapered edge which is nice and straight, so I can just use that for a straight edge. And again, just a nice light gouge with the knife, and then a heavier one on the second pass. And we'll just snap that in two and cut the back and snap it back, and it's easy as that. Check it fits, and if it doesn't, just get those little loose dags that you've missed, or you want it to sit back nice and flush. You can see there that bit of glue, just need to scrape that off properly. Because if it's not flush, it just makes it harder when you're doing the plastering. So if you can get this bit right and get it perfect, it just makes life a lot easier. So another thing I like to do, you don't have to, but is just to run your knife around the outside of the patch there, just very lightly. All you're doing is gouging the paint And just the face paper, what you do is you can just scrape that paint off and that top layer of paper just to give you a bit more adhesion with the plaster. And there you can see where there's plastering underneath the paint there. It's just a bit hard to scrape off, so it takes a bit of time. But you'll just get a lot better bonding onto the paper and the plaster rather than onto paint. As I said, you don't have to do this. You can just leave the paint and give it a sand up. But sometimes it just makes life a bit easier again. Makes the plaster dry a bit faster if you push for time. So now we're just going to put our fixings in. We want to use drywall screws. Very important to use the right screws. And if you're wondering why, you can watch another video linked in the description there about the importance of using the right drywall screws. So we're just going to put fixings in. I like to put them into the existing board as well, just on the corners there, just to pull it back if it's not back already. We'll just finish with a couple there on each side, so that's all good, all flush, ready to a bit of compound and a bit of tape. So we're just going to use your typical multi-purpose pre-mixed compound and just a bit of fiberglass mesh tape. This one here is the New Zealand equivalent of Fiberfuse, called rock tape, same thing. And I just like to do the two opposites at the same time. And just put the compound on, put the tape in, and then just press it in. And then just wipe off any excess. And then we'll do the two uprights there. Now we're only going to go as far as the taping in part of this process, just to give you an idea of how to sort of get started. Now if you want to see the full process on how to do the second and third coat and sanding, you can just watch another video there, which is linked in the description, on the full process of patching drywall. But now you can see here we've taped in, and just going to coat over the whole thing, wipe off any excess. Remember, it's going to get another 2 coats once it's dry, so there's no point trying to get it as good as you can. So, and we're just going to fill in these holes here. So that's sort of the process of patching sort of a medium-sized hole in the wall. Remember, once that's dry, we'll be applying a second coat, and then again once that's dry, a third coat. And then remember, if you're a beginner, you can always give it a 4th coat or a 5th coat if you like, if you're not happy. So keep at it, keep watching the videos, and thanks for watching. See you on the next one.